Say less. Hello, hustle class. This Jermaine. I'm here with E.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Yeah,
What's
we in
good?
here. We in here. And today we just gonna give you guys news items for the week, stuff to look at. Yeah. So let's get
Yeah.
the
So
ball
like we
rolling.
just, I guess we this week we didn't really have a specific topic, but we definitely want to get people ready for whatever's coming up. Tomorrow. So for some people, you'll be listening to this joint like early in the morning, pre-market, or like if you can, you'll probably catch it like this evening, this Sunday evening. But this is just so you could be prepared and kind of know what to look at and what not to waste your time on, and hopefully we can reveal some interesting and unknown information to you all.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully we can provide y'all with some insight. So first things first. I feel like everybody kind of knew that the whole oil thing had happened, right? Oil tanked dramatically last week, right? And um, I know that part of the reason that oil collapsed is one, nobody's really driving anywhere. For a lot of people who've lost their jobs and people who are just trying to stay safe and remain in the guidelines of the government and the local authorities, they decided to stay home and not drive. And I know on a stock perspective, a lot of these companies like ExxonMobil and Chevron gave a lot of like high paying dividends basically to a lot of people. And so that's the main reason why people give them their business of owning shares, because they know that they're going to get some money back every 3 months. And since they've had major cuts, they have lost a lot of shareholders. Now, it's not to say that they run the whole oil business, but that's a factor to consider. Now, I know that you have some stuff to say about oil, so I'm gonna let
Yeah,
you.
definitely.
You know.
Thanks for that. But yeah. So with the oil, I was doing my research because oil is definitely something that I was thinking about getting into, and basically from all of the things that I managed to read through, even though I hate to say it, but now it's not the time to get oil.
Mm-hmm.
Like you definitely don't want to get into the oil industry right now. Um, to make it simple, for a few reasons. The first reason is they don't know what they're gonna do with the oil. They have too much oil, and the oil that's coming from Saudi Arabia, they've actually been mass producing oil. Apparently, like in February of this year, like they've been producing a lot of oil, so there's an excess,
Yeah,
amount of
too
oil.
much.
Yeah, son. So it's like, where could you put all of this oil? And it's just gonna take too much time for the price to go up, because it's like, all right, you make 150 BMWs, like I don't know, there's 150 BMW M6s left in the world.
Mm-hmm.
But then like BMW just say, oh, okay, well we're just gonna make more, like we're gonna make 100,000 more. So now it's like that car's value lost. You know what I'm saying? Because
Mm-hmm.
there's so many of them, you can
Yeah.
easily access it. So
Mm-hmm.
so because like you said, nobody's driving, nobody's really vacationing, the oil isn't really valuable because it's just sitting there, really.
Yep. It's just sitting there.
Yeah, and it was like, I think they said they have over like, if I'm not mistaken, maybe like 300 million. I guess I forgot what I don't
Like
know if it's
gallons of oil.
gallons or crudes or whatever
Wow.
oil extra that
Isn't being
they was
used.
predicting to have every month.
Okay, so they was predicting it was gonna be used a lot, so they was pre-producing it so that they could meet the need. But then the
Yeah,
need has
but
disappeared.
yeah, but then it's like you got to factor in also like oil industry was losing out kind of a bit, because now people are buying Teslas, because Teslas had became more affordable when they came out with the Model 3.
Mm-hmm.
The Model 3, you can get a Model 3 for like 40,000, you know what I'm saying? So it's like the price of a decent Lexus, or the price of a high class, uh, Toyota or Honda. You know what I'm saying? So you can get a Tesla, full electric vehicle. Um, with all the technology in it. When I say technology, I mean like the huge screen and the internet access and all that. It may not have the self-driving mode, but you can get that for an extra few thousand. But anyway, that's not what I came to talk about. But so the fact that there's so much oil that they don't even know what to do with it. Then there's something about Russia. I think it's Russia and Saudi Arabia. They are still trying to figure out what they're gonna do with their oil, and the U.S. have been giving them some oil because, and how can you give oil back to Saudi Arabia? I guess they're trying to just find something, but to say that, for me, saying that, the purpose I'm getting to is that the oil is still gonna sit there even after the pandemic has like kind of cooled down some, because people are gonna be skeptical to like vacation and go out really. So especially like older people, you know what I'm saying? You got people who will just get accustomed to working from home, and now most companies, this is probably gonna change a lot, really, the whole working from home situation, because you got to think of it like this. Like, dang, son, well, I've been working home efficiently, you know what I'm saying? And so has everybody else, and the company's still running. So let's not, go back to what we used to do, because now we got to waste gas money and we got to waste time and money commuting. And that's money that could be spent working. And typically, I know for me, if I'm working from home, I typically end up working longer than I intended to, because even if I step away from the computer, I'm coming back to the computer like later in the day. Like if I step out from the computer at like 3 and I come back at 3:30, I'll work, and then if I step out at 4, then I'll come back at 4:30 and I'll get back to it.
And then after 5, you're still on it.
Yeah, 5, 7 come around. You still checking your emails at 9, 11 o'clock at night, because the computer's right there. It's up.
Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah, so it's easily accessible. So it's like, dang, you doing all these things where if you were just in the office, you'd be home chilling. But so yeah, the way people are working is definitely changing, and it may take a long time for people to really get out there and start to utilize, fuel sources. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, and then the money it costs to go down and find out where the oil is, get the oil cleaned, and then have it somewhere to get stored. It takes millions to just find oil, because you got to get whatever rig or machine or whatever is needed to dig drill down to the, surf through the surface.
To the levels you need to. Dang. Yeah, it's like a chain reaction.
Yeah, son. So, but I mean, and even for flying, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know you said you want to get into the airplanes and stuff like that, the airline stocks. But so, I mean, as far as the oil stocks, it is a good investment, just not right now. Like, it's not something that you want to really be trying to pay attention to. I would highly advise people to monitor it, and I mean, for those who followed the oil industry, previously, that the oil industry it's always been hard to predict, because, the price rapidly changes. You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
So do you have like a target month that you can give people, like, this might be a month to really like expect things to get kind of not regular, but for oil to kind of not be at zero?
I would because right now they're going towards a negative. It's a negative in the oil market.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a negative. And, like, I know that some companies are paying people to take the oil because they have nowhere to put it. So I'm pretty sure if you go out there, you could get, like, some type of crude of oil or whatever, like, for
at
free.
A reasonable price.
If you know how to finesse it and really finagle your way around it, you could probably get somebody to pay you to take the oil. Because, number one, you can't just dump oil, like, in the ground. It's not like a water bottle. You can't just open the cap and just say, I bet. Like, it's bad for the environment. And it's illegal to do, so you kind of have to take it. Like, when I change the oil on my car or somebody else's car, either I or somebody else, I tell them to just drop the oil off at Jiffy Lube, because they have a truck that comes, pick the oil up, and recycle it. Okay. So, like, that stuff has to be taken and, like, discarded properly. So it's like they're gonna start paying people to take the oil because it got to get used somehow. Like, and I don't even know how long the oil can sit there, really.
Damn. Well, yeah, prospects for oil. Do you have anything else about oil?
I mean, that I could think of. Nah, it's just. Oh, I was just saying, I would recommend for everybody who's listening, and even for us too, recommend like checking the oil stocks every 3 to 5 months. Like, just check that joint, because then you'll be able to look at the trends and the little tickers and everything like that. So you'll be able to see, all right, is it really moving, or how much is it moving? What's the pace that it's moving? Because if you're looking from day to day, it's gonna just be like
stagnant.
It's just gonna seem like a straight line to you.
Yep.
But yeah. So if you really follow that joint, like, just try not to really stress yourself out with it.
Yeah. So he was talking about the oil. Very valid. You know, a lot of the oil is burned through the transportation industry, and so, you know, with nobody transporting, that's an issue. And that brings us to the next point, transportation, right? So I was gonna talk about the plane industry, and you know, basically the development that just happened was the government had already cut out, I think it was about $2 billion for the airline industry.
A word?
Yeah, half of that or most of it was supposed to be split between the, you know, bigger companies like Delta, United, American, like the bigger ones.
Hold on, wait. Is that including like money that they're paying because of like from like shutdowns and stuff like that, or is that just like money to just for the airline?
It's money for sustenance. So just to kind of help them sustain what they're already doing. None of the money they've been given can be used for like bonuses, and they can't be used to buy back stock. They have to be used strictly to help continue the business while they go towards September or the summer, or, you know, later. So they're trying to help them maintain their business as they progress, because right now they have no business.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, one of the stipulations that comes with them giving that money is that they can't cut pay or jobs through September 30th. And they just upped the price and gave them an extra $10 billion. So then they gave them $2 billion. Now they said, okay, we're gonna give y'all $10 billion.
Right.
And they included a little more funds for some of the smaller airlines that still do a lot of local traveling. And so, kind of like leaning on what you said, like, you know, there is like a mass exodus on tourism, and now we're kind of seeing how much tourism is to the economy, like how much it really means. Like, it's the Achilles heel of the economy. Like, people didn't realize it. Like, people was like, oh, tourism, like, people can't take flights. It's like, I didn't think it was gonna be an economic crash because people couldn't take flights.
Yo, flights control like, a lot of stuff. Like, right? All right, you gotta think of it like this. Yeah, I hate to say it, but I gotta be raw with y'all. Say if you got like everybody in that city is broke, but it's something in that city that people want to see. You're gonna have people that fly in from other places. Number one, because they ain't had nothing to do, or just because they're really interested in seeing this thing, whether it's a concert, a football game, a sporting event, or just a piece of that like land. You know what I'm saying? Like some significant thing or whatever. People are gonna come and spend money there, because I mean, you can't just fly into somewhere and not spend money. Like, yeah, unless you got a connected flight and you just go and walk outside, smell the air, and walk back in. Like, it's kind of impossible. Even the Uber you gotta pay, unless you got a portable bicycle with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna buy something. You feel me? So like, yeah, that travel. Like, when people can't travel, money can't really circulate all that well, because you're spending the same money in the same place, but you have no new money coming in. Yeah, so your money can't circulate. You're not using, because the airlines are also using oil, right? You're not using. I mean, I think they might still be trying to fly, but I mean, at that point, it's just to burn the oil. Yeah, and which helps explain why the plane tickets, you know, were so low. A lot of people, you know, early on they thought like it was a scam, like something was wrong, you know, when the airlines were, you know, selling these like very cheap tickets, but they're selling the cheap tickets because like it made sense. I put two and two together when you mentioned that they got however many billions of dollars, granted to them. So that helps, the airlines, keep their head above water and allowing them to continue to, service
Give you
these people.
service, yeah.
So I guess now is a good time to really invest in yourself. Like you wanna like make some move, like you wanna really do something in your life. Like, I mean, I hate to say it, but I feel like eventually everybody gonna catch this virus. Like eventually, or everybody's gonna be exposed to it. You know what I'm saying? Like the race at this point isn't even given to the swift or the strong, but whoever can endure. You know what I'm saying, to the end. That's definitely a biblical reference, but in this time, it's like, who's really strong enough to be, out of the way?
Yeah, nobody is. So you just gotta keep to yourself. Like, once you keep to yourself, I mean, there's only so much you can do. Right, but I guess it's one of those things where it's like you just do everything you can do, right?
That's valid. Yeah.
You just do everything you can do, cause I mean, who's to say? You know what I'm saying? What would be the cause when it hits you? But yeah, it's like, I'm happy that at least people get to keep their jobs. Within the airline industry, those who that's their bread and butter. At least through September, they could keep getting paid to show up and do what they do. Because I mean, the unemployment numbers are just going higher and higher. And it's frustrating to think that that's people have to, who are even living paycheck to paycheck, now don't even have a paycheck. Like, that's like,
yeah.
$1,200 ain't enough. Like, I don't know how much you can make from just working, like, say your average minimum wage job, but I don't think $1,200 is cutting it.
Yeah, 1080 is how I see it, but 1080 ain't.
1080.
It's not much at all. Like, son, I can blow through. I know how to save like 70% of my check every 2 weeks, but I also know how to just blow through like $1,000, and like, I've done it. I've blown through like $2,500 in one day before. Like,
hey man, must be nice.
I mean, no, real talk. Like, I was just buying stuff, like just on a regular day, just buying stuff. It was like a Tuesday or something. I was just buying stuff, but it's not money. Like, it's money, but it's too little to manage. Yeah, I mean, maybe I can get another opinion on that, but actually, let me see if I can get my man's Craig. I'm gonna see if I can get his opinion on like the amount and like how is it to manage. You know what I'm saying? Hold on real quick. Yeah, so I'm gonna just get this opinion real quick to see how it is to manage. All right. So what I want you to do is I just want you to, like, you got your stimulus check, right? All right, so I just want you to, just speak about, like, all right, the amount. Do you feel like it was enough money? You know what I'm saying? Do you feel that's not enough money? You got
That's not enough money for anybody. I mean, we have to be realistic. Things cost money. You know what I'm saying? Even if we are in a situation we are just like in the house, come on, people got things they got to do. You know what I'm saying? We got things they got to buy. Even, things that are essential. It's $1,200. That's ridiculous, and they know that's ridiculous. So no, $1,200 is not cutting it. Even $2,000 is not cutting it. Now, I mean, it's good that they gave us something. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's a slight bit of support, I guess. But when you talk about people got bills, and I mean people live in areas where $1,200 is a joke. Yeah. So it is what it is. At the end of the day, I'm not going to complain about it. I did get the check. I used the check. I used some of it already for this and that. Bills, kind of.
Got to handle your business,
right? You know what I'm saying. So at the end of the day, they're going to do and they're going to give what they want to. But $1,200 is ridiculous. That's just on that note. So
straight up,
$1,200 is ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I mean, I'm thinking like, fam, like, even for somebody who ain't lose their job, it's like it was able to do a little bit for me. So imagine somebody got kids, bro, and you're not giving them money based on how many kids they got. You're just saying, okay, you in this tax bracket or you in this whatever,
right?
1,200.
Right. Because this go ahead.
The thing is, it's not even broken down by like it's just this tax bracket. It's like, oh, you filed your taxes and you're not being claimed. All right, cool. You get the money. Oh, you're getting claimed. You can't get the money. Like you could be 18 years old living in a household or 19 years old living in a household, and because you filed like to get claimed by your parents, you can't get that money. So now that 1,200, all right, parents. So 2,400. That 2,400 is being distributed, amongst 3 people instead of, each person getting 1,200. So instead of 3,600, it's 2,400 being split in 3. You know what I'm saying? So, so it's that's just not enough money. You know what I'm saying? Like definitely, it's far from enough. For a household and mind you, this is all going based off of what people filed. The previous year, you know what I'm saying? So that's what makes it a little strange for me, but luckily they took off for last year's taxes and not this year, because I definitely wouldn't have got that joint, but yeah, son, that joint is just, it's still crazy to me, like, but all right, my bad.
No, I would let it fly if it was like 1,200 like every month.
Every month.
That's
what they
make it consistent.
I feel you.
You're gonna gas us up with $1,200 one time, like that's it, and then you just be done. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it was consistently, and even 1,200, even a month, but I'm not even gonna push it. Like, you know what I'm saying? At least 1,200 a month, at least. Like until, I mean, this thing is gonna go on for, like he said, we eventually are all gonna, because we have to be around each other as human beings. At the end of the day, you can't separate yourself from human beings. Canada is doing $2,000 every month. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
dang. It must be nice. Is it too late to change my citizenship?
But if they was to, give us, even if they did $500 a month, you know what I'm saying? Just some consistent money. Consistency is everything when it comes to everything. But, especially pertaining to having to deal with this pandemic and people feeding their households and paying their everyday bills, 200, 300, 400, whatever. Like, just give them something over and over again, because that's what we do when we live. We continue to get paid. We work and then we get paid consistently, regardless of where you are as far as how much money you make or your financial circumstances. It's like, just give something every month, like, because people have been working, whether they make $100 a month or $1,500 a month or $5,000 a month. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever scale you're on. Everybody, that's how we live in this country, by making in just period, is by consistent income. And if we put inside of a position or in a situation that we have no control of, how are you going to, you're basically telling us how much you're going to give us to feed our house. I mean, everybody has different, some people got 10 kids. Like, I mean, people have some serious situations,
No
and it's
doubt.
just like $1,200, bro. I mean, that's part-time money. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, and people own homes, and it is what it is. They're gonna do what they want to do. They didn't give it out the $1,200. Everybody choose to do what they want to do with it. So,
and they cutting checks for these airlines and cutting checks for. There's so many checks being cut, and like the stimulus one, like the part 2 or whatever else we need, is not getting cut.
They didn't even give the stimulus to everyone. You know that. Now, this isn't my situation, but I do know people that are in this situation. If you were like backed up in child support, you don't get a check. I don't know if y'all knew about that. You don't.
Wow.
If you were backed up in any of your child support, you're not even eligible for that check. Like, you didn't get that, so you just stayed backed up in your child support, and you didn't get any money for it.
You're still not getting paid.
You know what I'm saying? I get it. Like, that I can't.
It be like that.
I can't relate to those circumstances because I don't have any children. And, sometimes you don't know why people are in the situation that they're in. Like, some people are backed up for their different reasons. Like, child support's not cheap, regardless of how much money you make. And it's like, they already put that on the table, that if you have child support that hasn't been paid previously, then you can't even be eligible for the check. Now, you just going to put them in a harder situation You know what I'm
to
saying?
provide for their families.
Right, exactly. To provide for their family. It's like maybe this situation for those people in that situation that would have helped them out a little bit to give. They could have got out of that situation and then now been put in a situation where they can begin to. But it's just like it is what it is. That's all I'm gonna leave.
I feel you.
It is what it is.
Good talk. That's goat talk right there. That's Craig. Goat talk. Goat talk. Yes, sir. Yeah, that's all I kind of have to say. We just gonna stay prayed up, man. That's how we move forward. You got anything else to say, E?
I did actually. When you guys were talking about the money that was given, with the check and everything like that. Dang, I just lost my train of thought. Ain't that about so ain't that something? Like, I hate that. Like, oh my gosh, I was about to go off too. I was about to go crazy. I was about to give this some insight, but it's like, oh my gosh, that just blew me. I just forgot. Like, as soon as I was getting back with the mic, I was just like,
what do I say
what?
again?
I was like, did the beat go off?
It be like that sometimes, though.
Yo, so that's trash.
Hey, man, say man.
You don't be saying that all the time. You're a funny man, but dang,
Yeah,
son, that's crazy. Because you talked about, you was talking about houses, son, and it's crazy because I was reading something about J.P. Morgan and Chase for all those who like interested in getting into real estate. They were talking about, suspending, the real estate market for a while. Like they talked about that. I was reading and they were really considering like putting a halt on like home mortgage loans. Like, people can't get mortgages. Like, you can sell your house, but you can't buy a house. Like, but I think some money was granted. I was reading this. It was if you go on Google, type J.P. Morgan and Chase, real estate market 2020, something like that. I'm pretty sure you'll find it on Google within the first page or whatever. Mm-hmm. Especially because I was reading it came out like Friday or something like that. But
yeah, what I'm really starting to understand about the United States too is everything runs on credit and debt.
Yeah, no, money, like actual physical money in your hand, that's not really, it's not money because, you know what I'm saying, you can't, not you, but others can't see it. It can't be tracked really, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but money in your account, but money in your bank account is still not debt or credit. That's still your money. You feel me? Like in your checking or your savings.
But you can actually like be like, oh, he has this in his account. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, he can, if he wants to get a loan, we can see, his debt to income ratio plus his current assets. Like the money that you have in your hand, they're not looking at that as an asset. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so.
Okay. But like, what I was getting at is basically all the companies that currently exist. It's kind of like, this one's getting mad feedback.
Yeah, that's funny. It's giving me an echo too.
I don't know why, but basically like all the companies that kind of exist right now are basing things off of like, that's why like the airlines need assistance. All the profit, all the expensive tickets that they give you, they're still in debt. Like everybody's in debt. Everybody owes somebody who owes somebody who owes somebody who took credit out for this. So it's like when you take credit out for something, it's kind of like, well, if things fail, it's like, it's not on me. So everybody's kind of putting it's not on me. Like, where's the government with everything that's going on? It's kind of like regular people can't do that because a lot of regular people haven't established good enough credit, don't have good debt. So it's like for them, things are just crumbling. Yeah. But like for the big corporations, stuff like that, like J.P. Morgan, whatever their hands are tied in, bruh, the CEO's not losing no sleep. Everybody's covered.
Yeah,
everybody's insured.
Because
Everybody's good.
They want to make sure the bank gets, that money, that stimulus money. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because banks need that money because there's government money in banks.
Right. So everything.
So they can't let banks fail and go foreclosure like most of these oil companies are foreclosing. And hopefully, if you are an analyst, with your stock portfolio and with your stock investments, you are taking this information and applying it to whatever investment or trade that you're considering doing. But remember this is not me telling you to go for banks. This is not me saying don't go for banks. But banks typically require a lot of abuse to close and foreclose. Like they take.
Okay.
They need.
I see that. I've seen that.
Banks
I see that.
need to really mess up big time. Bank of America lawsuit. What happened? Their stock went up. They were in a lawsuit. Their stock went down like $6, and then it went back up. Like, so Bank of America, like, that's crazy. That goes to show you, like, it takes a lot to destroy a bank. Like, they were under a lawsuit. This was weeks ago, like 2 weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? You feel me, son? So yeah. I'm saying, like,
yeah,
that's my thing. Like, I think that's what I'm closing on. I mean, you can say what you gotta say, but
yeah, I would just say this is an opportunity for people to kind of, you know, build their credit, and so you can kind of you can leverage a lot of what these companies do, like what Eon is saying, stuff like that. Is they have a lot of leverage. So, like banks want to see, like, the government wants to see the banks do well because of their connections to other stuff. Like, everybody the airlines have to do well so that the oil could do well, and so that's what I would like to call, like, leverage. Like, you have leverage with other players in the game because you have clout yourself. So in order for you to build that clout for yourself, you should start building your credit and stuff like that, so that when you find yourself in similar situations, you can get covered by the people who want to see you succeed.
I could dig it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's valid.
Yeah, but man, lots of good conversation here. So I hope y'all take some of that, apply it. Any questions, y'all know what to email. hustleclass@gmail.com or
EonBryant@gmail.com, or you could DM me on Instagram at it's Eon ITSEYON. That's it. No spaces on this.
Yes, if you want Craig IG, holla at us. We got you.
Yeah. Yeah, so oil, these are my recommendations, and I think Jermaine's about to hit the stop button. So oil, no, don't do oil right now. Just be observant. Just be a prospect. Banks, definitely keep your eye on the swivel for banks. Like, if you can get into banks, do it, but keep watching, because this might just be a swing. It might not be something that you do, for long term, but just look at banks, be observant. If you're nice with it, do a swing. Watch the options for the banks. Airlines, Jermaine, airlines still on the decline, but since every time they get pumped with these billions of dollars, they have like a little surge, they boost up a little bit. So I would say now is definitely a good time to get airlines. I mean, anytime between now and like July or August is a good time to get airlines. It's gonna be, right now if Spirit Airlines is $13, it might go between $11 and $15 within the next like couple months. So, if you want to buy it now when it's in the middle, or buy it when it's a little low or high, go ahead. And if anything with airlines, they'll just stop flying. They will not shut down. So
yeah,
the airline will not close on you. So if you feel like, it's low now and it'll get lower. If it gets lower, cool. If you want to buy to invest, do that joint.
Yeah.
And if it gets lower, just, buy the dip, which will help you to average out, have a lower average on your portfolio. So it doesn't seem like you're losing too much money. But watching a year, you probably end up making, depending on how many shares you have, you probably end up making, a few thousand or a few hundred. So off of that, not even including the options. That's just you on that stock.
Yeah. He's right. So,
gold mining. That's all I got. Literally, that's it. I'm done.
All right. Peace out, y'all.